Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me in the back as well. Great. My name is Dimitris Meletiou. I work as a principal DevOps engineer for net company Intrasoft. And DevOps, and DevOps, we hear it a lot. Maybe too often. So what does it take to do DevOps, apply DevOps, or be DevOps? It's all a matter of definition, maybe, and we may get different answers depending on who we ask about it. So here, for the sake of our discussion, let's have a look on how we can define DevOps. We see here some definitions that we searched on the internet. Microsoft talks about the union of people, process and technology. Amazon puts culture and philosophy in the equation. And the agileadmin.com focuses more on cooperation of operations and development engineers. And as we read in Wikipedia, the term is used in multiple contexts. And as a conclusion, it says that at its most successful, DevOps is a combination of specific practices, cultural changes, and tools. So I think that this sentence here really captures the essence of DevOps, at least as the terms, the creators of the term have described it in the past. There is a broad bibliography on the matter that people can find more stuff. And there's also DevOps version 2, which goes beyond development and operations and involves more and more teams and levels of the organization. So in this context, it's not enough to hire a team of experts or put some tools in place to take full advantage of DevOps. Let's see here some concepts and some practices which are certainly part of DevOps but are not its synonyms, and even though they do provide and give us benefits, they do not allow us to bring out the full potential of DevOps when used individually and not as part of something greater. So if we have tools and automation, in place, can we say that's all we need in our organization? For sure we can achieve great improvements with automation that is supported by the right tools, and this means also that we have a proper design for all of this and it's not something sporadic. But since the delivered software and services are made by humans, sometimes for humans, sometimes for machines, we also need to cultivate culture across the organization that, among many other things, will encourage the collaboration and trust, will absorb failures and embrace failure and learn from failure, and also focus on delivering value to the customer. In the end, that's what we want to do, deliver value to the customer, and by doing that, we get value in our companies ourselves. The next one, is it a synonym for CI/CD, for continuous integration and delivery or deployment? CI/CD is one of the most well-known DevOps practices, but there are many more regarding monitoring, logging, security, testing, and so on. So we must not disregard all these other concepts, practices, techniques that can give us value. After that, how about applying a standard? Could it be a standard? Take it from somewhere, adapt it, and say, okay, we did it, and we work on a standardized way. There are standards, there is standardization that can be applied especially in processes and automation. However, it's not one-size-fits-all case. There are differences depending on our industry, depending on the technology that we use and the size of the company, the teams, and all that. And moreover, DevOps deals, as we said before, with people as well, where things are quite different when we talk about standards. It's much more difficult to apply standardization there. The next one, job title, one of my personal favorites. When we say about DevOps, many of us think, okay, we have this DevOps engineer job title. It's one of the most popular these days, and overloaded maybe, because there is an continuously increasing number of DevOps skills that are required to apply DevOps practices. So, developer or an operations guy, they cannot easily adapt to, or if they make the deep dive to these tools, they will not have time for development maybe. So, we have this DevOps engineer, but in essence, everyone that is involved in the software delivery life cycle can be considered and should be considered as part of DevOps culture. Related to the previous one, we have also the dedicated team, the DevOps team, that you may hear often. If we assemble such a team that manages the deployments, the infrastructure, and the services, DevOps is their thing now. No, far from that. The DevOps term itself combines development and operations, meaning that we want to break the silos between different teams. We want them to cooperate. So, by having a new silo called DevOps, just a rename on something of the previous ones, that will take full responsibility of specific tasks, and we just give them these tasks and they do it and we don't care anymore about it, is certainly not the DevOps way to improve. A team of DevOps experts is there to assist other teams and can only make things better with close collaboration with all other teams. Okay. Here we have some key principles of DevOps, the 3 ways as they are described in the Phoenix project book about a decade ago. We won't analyze its principle. This would require much more time than what we have available here. But we can see, if we, with a quick glance, that they focus on people and processes, and they don't talk about tools and technologies. Tools and technologies come later, but first we want to have these principles in place. And since this book, of course, the bibliography and the DevOps culture, movement, or whatever you can call it, has evolved. Here we have a description of the Netcompany Intersource journey to DevOps. We have started 2 years ago. It's a journey actually with many small steps. It's not a fixed destination. We cannot say, probably we can never say, okay, now we did it all and we don't need to do anything more. We have a few steps that we have taken. Of course, we have many more to take on this journey. First, we have executive sponsorship. Any organization-wide endeavor needs to guarantee to some degree success, needs proper support from the decision makers, and we are very happy to have that. There has been a strategic choice to embrace and promote DevOps, which has helped to align people from different departments behind the same vision. Also, as a result of this, we have a community of practice and a center of excellence. The community of practice is an open community inside the organization where developers, operation guys, teams and any other who's interested, maybe someone from desktop automation or a project manager. They can come together, discuss what they are interested in, and find solutions together. The Center of Excellence is a more closed group of leads from security teams from various departments, from social security and DevOps teams. It has the objective to promote and support secure DevOps. With this term, we want to say that we don't talk just about DevOps. Maybe you have heard also the DevSecOps term, which focuses on security. And the objective of the Center of Excellence is to promote and support the secure DevOps culture and best practices. We have activities such as the creation of policies and guidelines, things, conducting surveys about the DevOps maturity level, organizing awareness and training sessions, proposing tools, and other stuff that we can do to promote this idea. We also have different DevOps teams per department. Each team provides service to the department's projects and products, as there are differences in the technology used, in the way they work. For example, the European institutions and the public sector departments have different needs. But the most important here is that all these DevOps teams cooperate, and the security experts cooperate through the Center of Excellence to have to align dependency and goals, to use maybe common tool set, policies and guidelines, and let's see these ones as well. We have 2 minutes left. So the common tool set helps to standardize our processes, and by common tool set we mean some DevOps related tools and services such as CI/CD, Jenkins, or Azure DevOps, or GitHub Actions, and all that. Artifact repositories such as Nexus and JFrog. Okay. So by having common tools, we can standardize our processes, reuse our infrastructure, and not have different installations for each project team or for each department. For example, we can share knowledge more easily and onboard people to new projects. If someone, a developer or a DevOps engineer, has worked with a specific tool, it's easier to onboard to another project that uses the same tool instead of having a learning curve. We also try to measure our maturity. If we want to achieve continuous improvement, we need to know where we stand and where we want to go. We always want to go higher. So surveys and some KPIs have been utilized, and we're trying continuously to find ways to measure our state and to improve. We also have a set of Devops Guidelines, which are proposals, suggestions, and DevOps policy, which is has a more mandatory nature, but it only has very few rules there. For example, use version control in our code, and someone can bypass these rules if it's justified for some reason. For example, some technologies that cannot support one of these rules. And we have this as a reference for everyone involved in the software development life cycle to have a baseline, and we want to see this as something which is alive, which constantly updated, and here we have the awareness and training as well, where we want to pass to our people, to everyone again involved in the SDLC, this concept that we talked about. We want everyone to have a common understanding and what they are and how we apply them in our company. So DevOps awareness sessions and some relevant trainings are organized. Here I think the sentence was lost to disseminate these ideas. Okay, so I think we are in time. And about all these common tools and course and guidelines, of course, diversity is welcome when it's mandated by a customer or by a project needs, or because we want to have our eyes open and learn about new technologies and new development in our area. So it's not like we decided we use a specific tool and we will stick forever with that tool. Okay, some guideline or whatever. So, thank you for being here and listening to me. I see here some new and old colleagues as well. Happy to see you again. And if you have any questions, I think I can answer them offline from the web application. Okay. Thank you very much.